Start with Chris Ryan.
Hey, Brad. Hope all is well with you. Jayson has talked about wanting to evolve into being more of a playmaker this year, more of a ball handler. And I'm curious as to where you see him in that realm and how important it is for him to find that spot for this group.
Well, he's been that for us, right? I mean, he played with the ball a ton all 3 years, but certainly last year more than any of them. Drew a lot of double teams, and I think what he's referring to is just making the quickest right reads. But I think you saw in the bubble that his passing was big time. Like he was putting the ball on the money. He was making the right read quickly. He draws a lot of attention, so guys around him have to be ready. But he's got the vision to do that. He's going to draw the attention where he's going to have to do that. And I think it's just, part of his, continued growth is, all the great players can kill you in a variety of ways. And, making the right read on a pass is, a big part of that.
Gary Washburn.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Gary.
In terms of Marcus Smart, I know his role is kind of he does everything for you guys. Has there been any conversations about adjusting his role offensively in terms of shot taking, or will he have more of an offensive role this year with Kemba out? How does that go in terms of what he was able to do at the end of last year? There were some games he really helped you out. There were some games he was not as good from the three-point line. Is there any adjustment to his role, especially on the offensive side?
Well, we have specific goals for each of our guys and Marcus in particular. But he's got to continue to build off of the threat he is. And at the same time, we need him to organize us and help run us, especially while Kemba's out. So there's even more of a responsibility to get us organized as a team. Now, I don't think you can't lose sleep. Obviously, guys are going to have nights where they make shots, don't make shots. And if they're wide open, inside out shots, you have to shoot those. And at the same time, I think that he can get everybody where they need to be. He's a much improved shooter, but he's also an outstanding playmaker. I've told him that we've talked a lot about, increasing the efficiency of our team. And his ability to make plays for others is a big part of that. Putting guys in the right spots to soar with their strengths. Said this the other day, nobody on our team, we don't need anybody on our team to be somebody that's out. We need everybody on our team to be the best version of themselves. And that becomes even more important when guys are out. So I think that's what we're talking about with everybody, and everybody's got specific goals, specific roles that, for us to be good, we're going to really have to hit on, especially, over the first couple months of the season.
Brian Robb.
Hey, Brad, just wanted to check in on the status of Tristan after he was able to practice again today, and how you guys are kind of viewing this week in terms of his potential availability.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. He practiced again today, looked good. Again, I go back to the fact he hasn't played in 9 months prior to these last 2 practices. So it's obviously we'll follow the lead of our medical team and get Tristan's feedback and see how it goes.
And do you expect whenever he is cleared that he'll start off on some kind of a minutes limit or something like that?
He'll have a minute. He'll have a minutes restriction when he's cleared. Yes.
Jared Weiss.
Hey, Brett, a 2-part question for you about Javonte. First, this was kind of his first opportunity to play with the core starting players and against core starting competition. So how do you feel he fared in that regard? And then considering he was basically entering the offseason with a non-guaranteed contract and he's earned himself this opportunity, what kind of message does that send to the rest of the team, especially the younger players, on how you have to earn opportunities in this league?
Well, first of all, I don't care about contracts once we have a team together, right? Everybody, that's done by the agents and by the front office and everybody else. I'm happy for everybody. I want everybody to be able to maximize their market as well as they can. But when we have a team, we're trying to win, and we're going to try to figure out who gives us the best chance of that. And, sometimes that's matchup dependent. Sometimes it's how you're playing as a team. Sometimes it's what that person does to, raise the other guys up in a lineup. Too small of a sample size to tell you. I thought he did some good things. I thought we had some moments where we weren't as good as a group, but I don't think that was on him. But it's too small of a sample size to review out of those 2 exhibition games.
Last couple of questions for Coach. We'll go to John Corrales.
Hey, Brad, you like to say, you want your guys to soar with their strengths. What happens when what a player believes his strengths are is different from what you believe his strengths are?
Yeah, I think self-awareness is a big part of being a great player. And certainly, that's something that as you get older, you have an even greater feel for what you can do well in this league and what add value to winning and what you might want to avoid, and sometimes it's, as I always said in recruiting, you can get exposure or you can get exposed, right? So you got to figure out what you do best, and you got to stick with that, unless you're like the elite of the elite that can do just everything well and still be great, right? And I think that it takes time for guys to figure that out. People always talk about when Kevin Garnett was here, and obviously I wasn't, but people always talk about when he came into the gym, he practiced hard, he worked hard, but then his individual shooting routine, he went super hard, but it was super short. And he had just figured out like what he does to impact winning on the offensive end and what he needed to work on every day. And it was designed to not only work on it, but also to make sure that he was ready every single day to give the most energy that he could. And so that's a process with guys. And, just like with your kids, when you're young, you want to balance the idea of, hey, this is what you can do to add value to winning, but I don't want to stop you from working towards your dreams of being as good as you can be. And so it's a fine line, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of reflection. It takes, the experience of playing at this level, competing with other teammates, learning the strengths of your teammates before, guys will get it at different ages and stages, but certainly it takes time for everyone.
All right. We're actually going to wrap it up right there.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.